We talked last week about reflecting and anticipating. But anticipating what? The future? The start of the next work week? The long time until our next Sabbath, our next vacation, our next moment of rest? Well, not quite. One way to look at our Sabbath is a little preview of heaven. Eventually, we are promised eternal perfection, an eternal rest, a peace, a purpose, a plan. Our Sabbath is the perfect taste of the kingdom of God, where we aren't as focused on the things of this world, but if we are utilizing all of the skills that we have learned in this book study, we are collectively making time to restore, to regenerate, to worship, to spend time in the presence of God, to commune with people we love, and to experience incredible things that we've never seen or heard or felt before. A little like heaven. What we see here is not what we get. What we see now will vanish, never to reappear. But what is coming is permanent, never to diminish. It endures forever. It is more real. So the right way to respond to the promise of heaven is to reflect and anticipate what is to come. According to the book of Hebrews, this comes in thanksgiving and worship. Not complaining or worrying, not scheming or tinkering, not settling scores or collecting trophies, just being thankful and worshiping. The book of Hebrews makes an explicit joining of the three dimensions of past, present, and future, then, now, and when. And it makes exactly this point of Sabbath rest. In Hebrews chapter 3, the writer condemns the generation of Israel under Moses, who did not believe in God's promise of a land that God prepared for them, and so did not enter into God's rest. Therefore, the writer says in chapter 4, since the promise of entering his rest still stands, let us be careful that none of you be found to have fallen short of it. Because they gave it up, this promise has been extended to you and me. Now we who have believed enter that rest. It's a rest we taste now, receive now, enjoy now. But this present Sabbath is only a shadow of the greater Sabbath. This other Sabbath is beyond this world. Earthly things suggest it, but never fulfill it. Even the rest that God's people enjoyed under Joshua, when they finally entered the Promised Land, was a rough reflection of that rest that is to come. Hebrews 4:8 says, for if Joshua had given them rest, God would not have spoken later about another day. There remains then a Sabbath rest for the people of God. Let us, therefore, make every effort to enter that rest. We must make every effort to enter that rest by faith, not by works, not by striving, but by trusting, by believing. We live boldly, joyfully, dangerously, and sacrificially in that certainty. We must live for something that nothing on this earth can provide. The world is not enough. We're always a little bit restless, aren't we? But we're supposed to be. That's the substance of our faith. We don't want to be content to make permanent settlement on this side of eternity. Our citizenship is in heaven. We're just foreigners here, sojourners, living between a now and then. There's always a little sand in the sheets, always a little leak in the tent, always a sense that there is better than right here. Because if we achieved perfect Sabbath here, with unbroken rest and restfulness, then the eternal rest that Sabbath hints at would be irrelevant. Instead, Sabbath points out our need for it and then directs our loneliness, our hunger, our disappointment, and our weariness heavenward. These things are not final verdicts. They don't defeat us. And that truth, that promise, should re-energize us with deeper hope. Sabbath isn't eternity, but it's close. It's a kind of precinct of heaven, a dress rehearsal for the things above. In finding the rest of God now, we prepare for the fullness of God one day. In Sabbath, we glimpse forever, so we can anticipate forever. So let's make every effort to do that. You know, Jesus talks about things unseen and then discusses how much more. If we, in all our flaws, know how to give good gifts, how much more does our Father in heaven? How much more is God? So take anything that you love here on earth, your children, your craft, your hot tub, the sweet corn from your garden, the dewy grass on the fairway, and enjoy it. Enjoy them all. Find rest in them all. And then imagine how much more awaits you. We are almost done with our study of Sabbath. One more video to wrap things up. I pray you have found these videos to be a blessing and that it has enhanced your time in God's rest. You can click here to watch more from this series, or click here to subscribe and stay up to date with the church's ministries and teachings. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you on the next one.